name's Janelle and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm excited to be sharing another 10-minute sewing projects video. I really enjoy making these videos and you really seem to enjoy watching them, so I'm so excited to be sharing part 3 with you today. As always, these projects are perfect for using some of your scrap fabrics, which is ideal for this crazy time we're all in, and it means you can make these fun little projects while at home in isolation. First up, let's make this sewing machine dust cover. Start by measuring the width of your sewing machine as well as the length from the back of the machine to the front. Add 2 centimeters or 3/4 of an inch to this measurement for seam allowance. Then take 2 contrasting fabrics and cut out a rectangle the size of the measurements taken of each fabric. I used a water erasable pen and a measuring tape to draw the rectangle onto the fabric, which made this part a little bit easier. Then I use my cutout rectangle as a template for the next rectangle. Next, cut out 4 more rectangles approximately 45 by 5 centimeters or 18 by 2 inches out of one or both of the fabrics. Take these 4 rectangles and press them in half, unfold them, and then fold one end in slightly. Then fold them again by meeting the edges to the center and press in place. Repeat for all 4 rectangles. And stitch in place. These will form the cover ties. Place each tie approximately 20 centimeters or 8 inches from each corner of one of the larger rectangles, right side facing up, until you have something that looks a little bit like this. Then place the other large rectangle right sides together and pin in place along the entire edge, making sure to secure the ties as you pin. Stitch along the entire edge, leaving an opening to be able to turn the cover right side out, like this. Once stitched, trim the excess fabric away. And turn the cover right side out, making sure to push the corners out as much as possible. Press the entire cover flat, making the edges nice and crisp and pressing the opening we made before. Finish it by top stitching around the entire edge to help keep the edges crisp and to sew the opening closed. Then simply drape the cover over your machine and tie it in place with a bow to keep it nice and dust free. Now let's make some produce bags. These are a great alternative to use instead of the plastic bags at the supermarket. For this project, I'm using some recycled net curtains, but any type of mesh fabric will do, as long as you can still see what produce is inside the bags at the checkout. Start by cutting out a 30 by 35 centimeter or a 12 by 14 inch rectangle on the fold. Again, I'm using my water erasable pen for this step. For these produce bags, I'm going to be making my own cord out of some scrap fabric, so for that, cut out a rectangle approximately 60 by 5 centimeters or 22 by 2 inches. Alternatively, you could use pre-existing cord instead. Similarly to the ties we made in the last project, take your long skinny rectangles and press them in half and then fold them again by meeting the edges to the center and press in place. Stitch the fold closed. Then stitch along the edges of your mesh rectangles, leaving a small opening about 5 centimeters or 2 inches at one side like this. This little opening will be where the cord will feed through. Next, fold the top edge of the bag down to create a casing for the cord. Press and stitch in place. Turn the bag right side out and using a safety pin, feed the cord through the casing. Once fed all the way through, tie the 2 ends of the cord together in a knot to prevent them from slipping into the casing. And we now have a super handy drawstring produce bag. Now for some fabric coasters. Out of your fabric, cut out 2 squares approximately 15 by 15 centimeters or 6 by 6 inches. I find having a few different contrasting fabrics works really well for a coaster set. For each coaster, you will also need a square of felt the same size. This will give your coaster a bit of padding to help protect your table from hot cups of tea. To make the coaster, simply place 2 of your fabric squares right sides together and sandwich them with the felt square. Then stitch the layers together along the edge, leaving a small opening to be able to turn them right side out like this. Once sewn, trim the excess fabric away and turn the coasters right side out, poking the corners out as much as possible. Then press the coaster to make the edges nice and crisp. And finish it by top stitching around the entire edge to help keep the edges crisp and to sew the opening closed. Now for the quickest and easiest sewing project ever, some reusable wrapping. Take a square of your choice of fabric. I made 2 sizes, a medium size of 50 by 50 centimeters or 20 by 20 inches, and a large size at 70 by 70 centimeters or 28 by 28 inches. Start by ironing out any creases in your fabric. Then hem the entire edge of the fabric square by pressing the edge in about 1 centimeter or 1/4 of an inch twice. Then stitch the folded hem in place. And it's done! These reusable wraps are a great alternative to wrapping paper. Simply place your gift in the center of the wrapping, then tie each opposite corner together. And lastly, let's make some giant scrunchies. As you probably know by now, I love making scrunchies out of my scrap fabric and just had to give these giant scrunchies I've been seeing around lately a go. For each scrunchie, cut out a rectangle approximately 15 by 90 centimeters or 6 by 35 inches and a piece of elastic approximately 25 centimeters or 10 inches. Next, fold and press the 2 longest edges in about 1 centimeter or 1/2 inch, then fold your fabric in half at the middle with the folded edges visible from the outside. Sew the fabric at the raw edge to create a kind of loop. Press the seam flat and then fold the loop in half, wrong sides together, meeting the 2 folded sides together. Sew the folded side together, leaving a small opening at the end to thread the elastic through. Using a safety pin, thread the elastic through the fabric casing. And tie the elastic together with a triple knot and sew the small opening closed. And now you have an over-the-top giant scrunchie. If you're looking for a sewing project a little bit more advanced, then I totally recommend you check out my sewing patterns. I've just released the Rosa dress pattern, which you can pick up in digital or print format for the perfect weekend project. I'll have a link to my patterns down in the description of this video. So I hope you enjoyed part 3 of this 10-minute sewing project series. Let me know in the comments which project you're excited to make, and if you do have a go at making any, then I would love to see them. So feel free to tag me at Rosery Apparel when you share them on Instagram so I can see. If you enjoyed this video, then be sure to give it a like and subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more videos like this one. Thanks for watching!